welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom. And I don't know how I get so lucky to interview these rock stars that I do, but you guys will be sick and tired of hearing my voice by the time Friday hits because I do so many interviews. But without further ado, I have lovely Thuy Tran with me. And so without further ado, I'm going to let Thuy take it away and explain what she does. And she lives in my favorite place on the planet, Orange County, California. So we might get into walking on beaches in this episode. I don't know, but I'm going to let Thuy take it away.
Hi, Lynn. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really super excited to be on here. So what I do is I am a woman with very many hats, but primarily I like to tell people that I help them learn how to manifest and create whatever they want in their life and business. And so I work with a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs trying to grow their businesses, and it's a combination of learning law of attraction and manifesting with the intuitive healing work that I do, intuitive energy work, and then just straight business coaching, tying it all together and having them move forward from tying all three components together. So that's what I do.
So you help people manifest their dreams. I thought of you actually a couple of weeks ago when I was filling out the college application. Again, not knowing whether I'm going to get in. I just put it out to the universe. Turns out I'm going back to college in the fall to get my journalism degree with an emphasis in fashion journalism, believe it or not. So manifesting to me means, yes, you can basically have anything you want as long as you manifest it and put it out to the universe. And so what would be your best advice, Thuy, on taking the leap and starting manifest things? I mean, they didn't name me win, W-I-N, for anything, but I think people are scared to manifest what they really want in life.
Yeah, well, that's like the biggest thing that people come to me and they're, I ask them what they want to manifest, and they don't even know. They're afraid to have their wildest dreams, and so, and then the ones that do have clarity and kind of know, their biggest block is around like even believing that there's some bigger universal force working with us. And so it's really just trusting the process. And so that's like the biggest thing is like, if you want to start manifesting, I hate to tell it to you, but there's going to be some spirituality involved. There's going to be some trust in something bigger than us.
Yep. There's going to be some trust in something bigger than us. I hate to tell that all to you guys, but Thuy said it, and it's like, really, you gotta manifest what you want. If you want that new job position, which I manifest for the past year, I finally got that new job position. And yeah, so I finally am living my dream to become a full-fledged journalist, and that's also manifestation, but you have got to take a leap, you guys. Thuy and I can only help you so much.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about that leap of faith, and it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people because we're raised that we have to do. We got to do it all ourselves. And that's probably like the biggest lesson too. It's like, if you're raised with a go-getting ambitious mentality that you're there to do it all yourself, the biggest thing that you have to learn first is how to trust that there's something else working for you, and then when you combine the efforts, like the universe and you, that is how you create a life of your dreams. Harnessing that power.
Yep, I definitely agree. And so what has been your biggest entrepreneurial success?
The fact that I'm 4 years in business is a success. You know how statistically they say, the businesses don't even make it out of their first or second year, I feel like that's a success alone, that I'm still in business and I'm never quitting, and I think most recently too, I've gotten like really well-known clients, like obviously I can't say their names, but like, really high-end clients that own islands and things like that. I mean, that feels amazing to be able to help people at really high levels like that.
Yeah, at really high levels at that. And were you in corporate America before you started this, or you said no way to the cubicle?
Was I what?
In corporate America before you started your own company.
I was running, I have a really heavy finance background. I've got an MBA in accounting. So it's really kind of funny that I'm teaching manifesting, right? Because that couldn't be so far on the other side of the continuum,
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep.
I ran a multi-million-dollar corporation out here managing the back end of it. So as a business manager, assistant controller, for Southern California. And then, after I left that job, I took a temp job for about 5-6 months, running, as a low-level manager overseeing like multi-trillion dollars of billing. And so, numbers and money is my thing. And so it's kind of funny you say that because that's currently what I'm creating right now is like a money manifesting boot camp. And it just comes full circle, all the experience. And again, that's why, when I think about my biggest business success, it's really about life learning. It always comes full circle as to what you're supposed to learn. And it comes in divine timing. So as much as we think we know what we're supposed to learn and what we're supposed to do and have and achieve by a certain period in our lives, when we really open up, we learn exactly what we need when we need it. So I would say my confidence in my business right now and the things I'm creating right now is what I'm most excited about.
I figured you were in finance and then gave it up to become a business coach because finance is tough. It's tough spiritually, it's tough emotionally, it's tough physically. I have a family member in finance, and she works for one of the big financial firms in London, and then she works for a private equity firm in the Bahamas, and she finally gave it up, and last year gave up the corporate job and started her own equity firm in the Bahamas on her own terms because she goes, I give up. I'm in an industry that won't let me have a personal life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you leave the high-paying job?
I actually got sick. I got really sick. I was working ridiculous hours. In a way I manifested everything up until that point, in hindsight, as I look back, because I remember thinking, I'm going to make six figures, run a major corporation, have a fancy title and a company car and all that stuff. And I had all that stuff. But I also had a lot of stress and a lot of hours, and I literally was on a 4-month stress leave. My face would numb, like half of my face would numb, was numb for years and I just thought I was getting older. And the minute I went on stress leave and I had high anxiety and panic attacks, I went on stress leave and my body started to heal. And the minute I got back into, off of my medical leave, I started to feel all that stress and pain again. And I was like, oh no, I gotta go. I have to go. And so at that point, I was just, I wasn't even very spiritual back then, but I was praying to anyone that would listen, any divine power to get me out of that job. And they ended up consolidating my division and offering me a severance or a different opportunity in the company. So I took the severance and I ran, that was my.
Ran out the door.
Right.
No,
so fast. I was just trying to figure a way to get out of there and still get paid, and it happened.
Yeah, that's what my family member said. She goes, working in a corporate environment, especially in finance, it's not good. It's not good for the soul. So that leads me to my next question. What would be your best tip for those who are in finance, for example, or those who are in a corporate job that doesn't leave them much personal time? How can they start manifesting self-care routines, and how can they start manifesting to get out of this job?
Well, they first need to decide what they really want, like they need to take back their lives, look at those, one, to admit to themselves that they're not happy, and then two, start to find those things that make them happy. I would highly not encourage people to leave any job without having a great safety net and like a good savings.
Yeah.
And like when I left there, I messed around with my severance for a good 6-7 months, and, I blew through it super fast, and I had to go back and take a temp job, and in the 5 months that I was at that temp job, I made a year's worth of salary. But in that time, that's when I got really clear on what I wanted to do next, and so take that time before you leave. Have a really good exit plan to discover what you really want to do next. And if you went to finance because you loved it, there is some aspect of finance that you still may love, and there's a way to take those skills and create something. And I'm always encouraging people to be entrepreneurs, because I really believe that you can sell any knowledge that you have if you package it right in this information driven world, So really look at that and start exploring that, what they really love, and have a really great savings and an exit plan before they leave.
Yeah, I took the time to really manifest what I wanted, and I'm still in my educational position, but I'm slowly but surely walking away, and I haven't made a leap yet to solo entrepreneurship, but I'm slowly but surely walking away. I will have the education heart with a journalism passion, so that's what I'm really wanting, and that's what I've manifested over the years, and it took me about 11 years to finally figure out what I wanted to do, and I started this teaching young kids 11 years ago, and I finally, as of this past Monday, retired from teaching preschool, and I feel great because I am not physically sick anymore, and I am in the best mental shape I have ever been. So I think manifesting really works, and manifesting of what you want really works too. And I know Thuy can agree with me. And just be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's the thing, is we're always manifesting, and by default we're manifesting in the negative, there's such this, the more I learn about and study about it and teach it, there's such power in our thoughts, and there's science behind it, there's so many people who've gone ahead of me teaching around manifesting, and there's science there as well. So as woo-woo as it sounds, and there's a lot of science between our thoughts and our, the actions and all that stuff. So for sure, but you can definitely create anything you want when you have the right thoughts and the right energy.
Yep. And the most positive attitude. So what is your favorite podcast if you have one?
I love Entrepreneur on Fire. That was always one of my favorites. I haven't listened to it in a while, but that was one of my favorites to listen to.
And he's, speaking of manifesting, and John Lee Dumas has been on my show, and he just loved this interview, and go back and listen to when I interview him. And he's just rocked the podcasting space. He was in a cubicle job for, 5 months, and gave it all up to rock the podcasting space. So that's a good show. It's not necessarily about manifesting, But if you really want to be a podcaster, follow John Lee Dumas, please, because that's an awesome show to learn business lessons and to start your journey on entrepreneurship.
Yeah, great show.
So what has been your favorite book? It doesn't have to be a business-related book. It just has to be a book that you go back to time and time again.
I love the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. That's one of my favorites that I go back to a lot. It's just, and he's got a book that, same book geared toward kids, and so it's just great. And it's such an easy read. I was literally going, every day I would take a law and I would read it and just witness that law happening that day. And I would do that for weeks, and I would start over every day and just go through each law. So I think that's really helped with my spiritual practice a lot.
And where can people find you, and where can people work with you, and how can people begin to manifest with you, and how can people get on the entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, so the easiest place to find me is on Facebook, in my Facebook group, which is Spiritual Entrepreneur Hangout. From there, there's links to my website and to me, as a friend and as my public pages and stuff. But Spiritual Entrepreneur Hangout in Facebook is the easiest way to get to me.
And before I let you go back to your amazing work, I want you to ask me a couple questions about anything.
Yeah. So, what do you do outside of butterflies? Your podcast.
Of wisdom?
Yeah.
I, believe it or not, I am an exercise nut. And believe it or not, because I'm physically disabled, I am a big time exercise nut. So I love going to the gym. As a matter of fact, after I hang up with you, I'm headed to have lunch and then go to the gym. So I get on my bike or I go walk in the exoskeleton suit for a good half an hour and then see how I can improve my body.
That's awesome. What's the hardest part? That's the hardest part of having cerebral palsy.
The hardest part is just dealing with my muscles, because my muscles do what they call tone, and it's a muscle contracture. So when I wake up in the morning, I really have to be mindful of my body and manifest. 9 times out of 10, I manifest, can I have a good day? And 9 times out of 10, that works. So basically, when a person with cerebral palsy has tone, it gets them all messed up. Let's just put it that way. And so basically manifesting whether I want to have a good day with no pain or not, that really works.
That's awesome. Well, I can't even imagine, and you're such an inspiration. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for saying. You want to be successful with a disability, manifestation really works. And I want to thank you for your support, you guys. And as of today, we have reached over 40,000 downloads, and I must be doing something like teaching you guys about solo entrepreneurship with a mix of cerebral palsy and teaching about disabilities. And this podcast has been sponsored by Kitta, K-I-T-T, or Kitta is a desktop app which you compose a tweet, they put the trending hashtag with it, and so you guys don't get lost in the heat. And again, I thank Thuy for coming on this podcast. I know we had a scheduling issue, but I'm happy we got it done. And I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. Thanks to you guys.